there, this is Dale from Inspiring Records. Now, one of the questions that I've always put to myself over the years is this idea that we are all one. And what I actually wanted to know is, how can you explain that in such a way that gets people to understand the concept of it? Because if you look at the world, individuality, separation, uniqueness, it's quite obvious that we're not connected. It's quite obvious that we are separate. When I hold my hand up, I look at my hand there, but it's connected to my arm via my wrist, but it's not the same as the eyes that are looking at it. There's a distance between the two. There's a separation. Even though it's connected to the same body, it's still not one. It's different. It's a hand. The eyes that are looking at the hand, the brain that is processing the information, it's all different. So how can we grasp this concept of being one? All of the philosophies tell us this. The religions, even science today, telling us now that we're part of this universal field. They call it the unifying field of consciousness, the 0 point field, whatever you want to call it. Quantum entanglement displays this in experiments that even on a physical level, we're connected at the root, at the absolute foundation of our existence as physical beings. So this was a question that I pondered for a long time before I came up with what I think is a logical, reasonable explanation to portray the concept of how we are one and how this separation or this illusion of separation has occurred. So for the purpose of this illustration, let's just imagine that this lamp on the left-hand side of the picture is the source, the original first cause. When we switch the lamp on, a beam of light shines from it. And it's quite obvious when we look at this picture that we can see the lamp on the left-hand side, we can see it's been switched on, and we can see the beam of light coming from it. It's all connected, it's all part of the same system. So what I'd like to do now, once again for the purpose of this illustration, is to introduce a barrier. Let's put something in the way. What we're going to do is we're going to drill a series of little holes into this barrier and then switch the light on again and see what happens. As you can see, we can still see the source, we can still see the original beam of energy, we can see the barrier, and then we can see that the light is shining through the tiny little holes and is creating these individual beams of light on the other side of the barrier. But like I said, it's all part of the same system. We can still see what's going on. If we were to move on to the other side of the barrier, then this is all we would see. We can no longer see the source. We can't see the original beam of light. All we can see is the individuals. So let's try another little experiment. Let's place a series of different coloured filters into the holes in the barrier and see what we get. It's quite obvious that each beam of light is separate. Each beam of light is a different colour. There are similarities, but mainly we focus upon the differences. If we go back to the original picture where we can see the source, now we can understand how it all fits together. Yes, on the right-hand side of the picture, it does look like everything is separate. It does look like everything is manifesting a different colour, manifesting a different physical reality. And yet, the source is still the same. Each individual beam of light, even though it's been filtered, even though it's been coloured, still is connected to the original source. And this is how we are connected to our original source. So this is the answer that came to me as I was meditating and contemplating the idea that we are all one. It takes an abstract idea and explains it in a logical way. Hopefully it makes sense to you as well. If you've enjoyed it, then subscribe to my channel, and why not visit www.inspiringrecords.com for a bit more information. Thank you. This is Dale. Bye.